£20,000.
25.
Well, we've already seen Peter Wright, one of the form players in the world, knocked out by Richie Burnett. We've seen the world #1, Michael van Gerwen, labour to a win over Steve Maish. But Adrian Lewis, one of the form men, throwing first against Jamie Lewis for a place in the last 16 here at the Dutch Darts Masters.
Yes, Jamie beat the Irishman Glenn Spearing 6-4. I gather Glenn was having some trouble with his contact lenses before that match, and one of them actually fell out on his way to the stage, which probably, I'm sure he wouldn't be using that as an excuse for his performance, but I'm sure, I don't wear contact lenses myself, but I can't imagine that would have helped his cause at all.
No, certainly not, but Jamie wasn't playing anywhere near his best in that match, but he ground out the result, and that's perhaps something that he might not have been able to do a couple of years ago. Learning all the time, of course. Richie Burnett, his mentor, and we've seen the kind of result that he's able to pull out and beating Peter Wright. But yeah, Jamie getting the job done. I remember when he came to the Worlds, he lost in a preliminary round match on his debut against a player from the Philippines, Lawrence Ilagan. Felt he should have won the match, but you know, I think if he played that match now, he would have won it. Grinding that result out. He did, of course, make his full debut, got to the first round proper of the Worlds this year, but unfortunately ran into Raymond van Barneveld in one of those moods where he decides he's going to absolutely hammer whatever's put in front of him.
Adrian's made a great start to his 2014 Premier League campaign. 2 wins out of 2, beating an off-colour Simon Whitlock in Liverpool in week 1, 7-1, and then beating Phil Taylor on Thursday night in Bournemouth 7-3.
As Jamie Lewis looks at 48 for a 14-dart leg and one against the throw. Double 16 is what he wants, and he's got 2 darts at it. And that's not bad. And that is exactly the same. Not bad, but not good enough. Now, A.D. Lewis, well, he's gone the ball route. I can't quite see what he's hit there, but he's going to give himself a dart. He'd hit the 2 and then went 48 for double top. And another missed dart. And he's got another chance as Jamie Lewis. He's got to move across, I think, because he's got a long dart. It does kick up. He's looking at double 8 next door. Oh, well, that's a night. I don't know if he can get through there. Can he? Yes, he can.
Well, he managed to sneak it in there somehow. And a great start. An early leg on the board for the man from Cardigan in Wales, former World Youth Master and WDF World Cup Youth winner back in 2009. So he has been learning his trade over the last few years and winning 2 more youth titles in 2013.
Yeah, and he'll be able to see, you know, what, say, Jamie Caven, a World Youth Master, a fair few years before Jamie Lewis, it has to be said. You see how he's finally fulfilling his potential. Admittedly, he was beaten by an excellent Darren Webster earlier on as Adrian Lewis looks for his first maximum of the tournament. You'll be able to see how somebody like Caven has progressed and finally starting to win games on the big stage, starting to move on up the rankings.
78.
Sometimes takes time for these young players to fulfill that potential.
60.
Well, a little bit laboured from Jamie Lewis here. He really hasn't got going. It's been a poor leg, this, and again, that's a pretty poor dart. That's a lot better.
77.
But Adrian Lewis looks set to break straight back. Now, I don't think he'll go treble 17 bull. He might do. Well, he could have done.
137.
He set it up wonderfully, though.
Yes, double 12 when he comes back. But Jamie Lewis still back on 260.
45.
And to immediately draw back level. Double 12, only 1 dart needed for the man who won the European Championship back in July last year. Also managed to reach the match play final and the Masters final in Edinburgh. Also enjoyed a win in Dublin in the Players' Championship event over there, so was consistently getting to the business end of tournaments last year, Adrian Lewis. And was just a little bit unfortunate a fortnight ago in Hildesheim, coming up against Raymond van Barneveld, who had to go through the qualifiers in Germany. As Adrian bangs in a ton 80, and yes, RVB seeing off Adrian in round 3 by 6 legs to 2 there.
Well, Adrian Lewis finding his first maximum. And if he has found his range, he is devastating. I was chatting with him earlier. He said like he felt he had 10 more gears against Phil Taylor in the Premier League. He felt it was just toying with him. I'm not sure you ever toy with Phil Taylor. There's not many people who could get away with saying that, to be honest. Phil Taylor is a man who, in his own words, fed and clothed Adrian Lewis as a young man, taught him the game of darts, had him round his house, gave him his tea. Gave him a lot.
85. Jamie 161.
That's a big one here, Jamie Lewis. If he can take it out, it'll be a third breaker throw. Never really threatened it. But there may be some pressure on this 77 that Adrian Lewis is looking at.
97. Adrian 177.
Double 10 then for 2-1. Yes, looking pretty good on the doubles early on in this match, Adrian Lewis. The winner of this match plays another Premier League competitor in Dave Chisnall. We saw Chizzy beat Andy Smith, the Pie Man, 6-2 this afternoon.
100.
Yeah, that was built on a bit of an onslaught in the early stages from Chizzy. He is a real contender for this title. He has won on the Euro Tour Chisnall, as has Adrian Lewis. Did that in Sindelfingen as Jamie Lewis looks for a maximum here. And finds it, 180, Jamie Lewis, the 22-year-old from Cardigan, gets his first maximum of the match. And his fourth one of the tournament.
134.
And he's just about holding his own here, Jamie Lewis. He has had some scrappy legs. But this one's pretty good so far. And if he can close it out, it'll level the match at 2 apiece.
91.
It was a close run thing when they did meet in Gibraltar, and all the way to a deciding leg. And well, look at that, 120 from Adrian Lewis rather. Bullseye, bullseye. Leaves him on 152. And Jamie won't even get a shot at the bullseye.
So a chance to break the throw for Adrian Lewis and
90.
extend his lead to 3-1. Double 16 was what he wanted. Jamie then with a chance to draw back level and take us to 2 apiece.
And there it is, Jamie Lewis. He hit a 180 in that leg. He had to survive a dart at double 16 for that brilliant, or what would have been a brilliant 152 checkout from Adrian Lewis. But the match is level at 2 apiece. As I say, it was 6-5 to Jamie Lewis when they met in Gibraltar. He hit a maximum in the deciding leg, showed great composure, great bottle to get the job done. But AD here, well, maybe he wants a bit of revenge.
Plenty of wrist wear on Jamie Lewis's arm there as he looks to bang in another ton 80. It's not exactly bling that we see a lot of dart players wear. But Lewis immediately, Lewis of the Adrian variety, bounces straight back with a ton 80 himself to set up a 130 out shot.
Yeah, maybe this one is hotting up a little bit now. Players trade in 180s. Just when Jamie Lewis thought he was really attacking the Adrian Lewis throw, Jackpot hits back with one of his own and he's on a finish. And so is Jamie, but it's a big one. And look, is this going to go? Oh, well, it seemed a strange one. He'd gone treble 18 for double 8. Conventionally, he should have gone for 20 to leave the ball, or treble 20 for double 5. Now, can Jamie Lewis punish him here? He might be able to, you know. Bullseye. Bullseye it is! 167, Jamie Lewis. Adrian Lewis, he didn't take the safe shot. Surely the shot was to go on the 20s. But he went for the 18s, he missed even the big number. But he would have needed the treble anyway to give himself a shot. Surely he had to leave himself the bullseye. Jamie Lewis showed him how it was done. A 167, spectacular stuff. And maybe, just maybe, we're going to see another upset here at the Dutch Darts Masters.
Yes, equalling out. Highest checkout we've seen so far this weekend at 167. And he did really show great composure, did Jamie Lewis, to be there and be ready to pounce with a big out shot after Adrian had fluffed his lines
100
in his attempt to check out.
95.
We have seen some cracking matches since we started at 1 o'clock this afternoon. The audience are warmed up, the auditorium is certainly warmed up. And there's no let up in the standard of the darts for this, the 16th match we've seen here today
96.
in Veldhoven.
And Jamie Lewis here, managing to find a treble on his last 2 visits. Solid stuff, just keeping his nose in front of Jackpot. Oh, that is a bit of a wild one. A weak visit. Can the 2-time world champion pounce? That looks beautiful. Well, it's a surprise if he doesn't stick another one in there. Well, certainly raised my eyebrows. But he's left himself what his opponent took out in the last leg. It would be some answer to take it out himself. I think that's 35 scored. Oh, 50. And that has left him on a bogey, so he's got 6 darts from here anyway. He doesn't need to go for the bullseye. He might well have done it just to try and prove a point. If he had hit that treble 19.
82.
Cardinal sin if not staying straight there.
Yes, was looking to set it up there, but we'll have 2 darts at 85 at least when he returns.
100.
And a chance to break straight back for Adrian Lewis. He wants double top here. That was well wide and just overcompensated with the third. So double 10 unless Jamie Lewis can extend his lead here with treble 10. So 20 would leave double 16 here for a 4-2 lead against the 2-time world champ.
30.
Well, a few missed doubles here. Getting a bit scrappy, and it's all going round the board for Adrian Lewis. Double 5 he wants, and he nails this one. And for the 4th time in 6 legs, we see a break of throw. Well, this is not vintage stuff from Jackpot we're seeing, it has to be said. And this game is very much in the balance. Can Jamie Lewis reassert his authority in this one, having just been broken?
140.
And it certainly gives him the upper hand in this leg for the moment.
Yes, Adrian averaging just 97.2. 97.2, playing Jamie just over 90 at the moment.
Well, he's been good in the legs that he's won, and the ones that he haven't. It's been some scrappy stuff from Adrian Lewis. 97 average is certainly nothing to be sniffed at, but it's not the kind of stuff we expect. We've seen him do better. We know he can.
Yes, you can see he looks a bit frustrated up there, does Adrian. It's been obviously a lot of waiting around and a lot of pacing yourself with the practice when you know you're last on.
44.
And he does look pretty warm up there on the stage, as Adrian. As I say, I had to walk around during my break, and it really has warmed up in the auditorium as the day has gone on. But they still have the energy to raise the 180 boards as Lewis is down to 48 for a potential 14 darter.
Well, there's a 16, double 16 he wants. Oh, I think he thought it was in. Get back to the hockey, Adrian. This isn't over. It certainly isn't over. And Jamie Lewis steps up now, looking at 78 to break the throw again. Well, he wanted treble 18, 77 left. He may go 19s. Yeah, he did. It's not happened. So 18 for tops. Well, he's missed everything there. A double 8 for Adrian Lewis. Just moving across, trying to open that bed up. He's on the wrong side of the dart. This time it's there. It is there, and Adrian Lewis manages to hold his throw, but not without a couple of hairy moments.
No, he got the job done, and Jamie's last visit was the original bag of nails, really. Hitting missing two of the big numbers he was going for.
It's funny you should say bag of nails, actually. Just talking with Adrian earlier, this is just underlines how much of a natural talent this man is. He was in Holland, seeing Steve West, who's based over here. He's got a little trick where he throws, instead of darts, 6-inch nails. He had a go, and the first few just bounced out the board. It's not easy to throw a nail. Well, there's a bit of a flick to it, apparently, and after a couple of efforts, Adrian had got it for a 14-dart leg using 6-inch nails that had been filed down, having never thrown them before. If you want to know how much of a natural talent this man is, that's not a bad way of underlining it.
Yeah, certainly would be a classy exhibition trick. Taking nails on the road to the pubs and clubs around the land. Sure, there'd be some health and safety issues somewhere along the line that they would confront.
And Jamie Lewis here.
95.
Perhaps really needed another treble. He's not on a finish. Although Adrian Lewis isn't really making him pay. That is a big dart. Puts the pressure on. 124 is eminently gettable. He only needs one treble to get himself a shot. And Jamie Lewis, well, he's going to be sat on 119. So 124, 64 left, 14s. It's going to be the bull. And he takes it out, 124. And Adrian Lewis, having had to sit there and watch his opponent take out 167 on the bullseye to seize the advantage in the game, he has come back and won the last 3 legs, 2 of them against the throw. He is on the threshold of round 3.
Would have liked to have done better than that opening score in this, what could be his last leg. It's a siding leg for Adrian.
58.
And again, another slack visit for the man from Stoke-on-Trent.
Well, blow for blow, these two. Can't buy a treble at the minute.
85.
Well, there's your first one.
And it is interesting how often we see this, where it almost seems catching, where one player will drift off and so will the other, and likewise one player will step up a gear and it prompts his opponent to raise their game. It's interesting how often we see that happen, but this is much better. He's come to life now in the 9th leg. Adrian Lewis looking to get the job done. He's left himself a bogey number though. And this could put a little bit of pressure on if he can fill this bet up. Jamie Lewis.
140.
Oh, just the 140. Adrian Lewis just needs to set this up. 57, brilliant stuff.
87.
So there we go. He'll be coming back. He knows he's got 3 darts to get down from 72 to record a 6-3 win and book his place in the 3rd round against Dave Chisnell, the 2nd seed, his Premier League opponent. 72 he wants. How many darts is he going to get? It's only going to be, well, it's not going to be any. He wanted 16 for double top, and he's hit the fat 7. And Jamie Lewis lives to breathe for just a little bit longer in this one. 70 left. 20. Well, treble 20 for double 5.
84.
Well, maybe that's the end of it. As Adrian Lewis looks at double top for a 6-3 win. That's a decent marker. He can come in off that one. He doesn't even touch it. Straight in there. 6-3 win. A 93 average. It wasn't vintage. He had moments where he was struggling, and Jamie Lewis certainly put the frighteners up him with a 1-6-7 outshot halfway through that game to go 3-2 up. But AD Lewis is through to the last 16. Our lineup is complete. We will be back on Sunday. We're going to have the culmination of the Dutch Darts Masters. Mike, do you want to run us through the list of games that we've got?
Yes.